G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm not working on this tea tree, I'm going to be working on another tea tree, but I just brought this one on just for a quick look. I know we only had it on a month ago, but since that time I've actually given it another quick trim up just to tidy it up because the growth on this thing is just out of control. But you can start to really see now the definition of the individual pads. The ramifications really starting to kick in and these are getting denser and denser now. Yeah, and it's starting to show its true profile of how I want it to look. The only thing I don't really like about this tree is how far out this branch goes without any foliage. I'd rather that was tucked in a bit. I think it looks a little bit out of proportion out that side. But yeah, we'll see what happens with that. For now, this is how it's going to stay. I do think this tree probably deserves a better pot, so I have ordered another pot for it, so I will do a repot on this one in the next week or two, maybe 2 weeks. I might even try and see if I can set up to do a live stream and just do the whole repot thing as a live stream. So if anyone's keen on watching something like that as a live stream, just let me know in the comments what time zone you live in and what time would be best suitable, and I'll try and pick something that will work for most people. But yeah, that's this tree, and it's really going good at the moment. So I'd say even when I come back in 2 weeks, I reckon you'll see new growth all over these little foliage pads again. But yeah, we'll get on to the other tea tree. So anyway, this is just another Leptospermum that I found in a nursery in a clearance area. Most of this weird trunk shape was already on the tree when I got it. I've worked on a few of these lower branches. I've developed them since I've had it. And it's starting to look pretty good. It's a little bit out of balance. When you look at it side on, a lot of the weight of the tree is out the back, which makes it look a little unbalanced. So I don't know if I should just lean it forward when I do another repot, maybe. Not sure, but I do know there's a couple of things I want to change on this tree today. I'm just going to do some wiring on a couple of these branches and just bring them around, bring them a little bit further forward and maybe down a little bit. I know that's not really the Australian aesthetic that everybody goes on about. But as you can probably see from the other tea tree that I just showed you, I don't really care too much. I kind of like that. I like that bent trunk, branches down a bit, nice manicured foliage. I like that look. That's why it's so popular in the Japanese style, and I like it, and I'm happy to grow my trees that way. I mean, this one's never going to be that typical form because it's just got such a weird trunk shape on it. But I'll develop it along those lines. But initially, I just want to cut some of this growth back. I mean, all this is just new vigorous growth, and I just want to trim it back a bit. You can see it's just finished flowering. Still got a few flowers on it. A lot of seed pods. But yeah, I think I'll just work on each little area on its own. I think this one I'll probably bring down somewhere down to here, and I might even I reckon I'll shorten it in a bit. So I don't want it going out too far. So I might even just bring that back. Cut some of these growth tips off. And we'll just work on trying to basically just increase the density of that pad. I reckon what we'll do, because this is pretty slow, tedious work, might do these 2 pads. I'll trim them up, and I'll just hyperlapse that so it doesn't take forever. And we'll come back and then we'll wire those 2 and we'll work out what we're going to do up top. So hang 5, enjoy some tunes. So we've trimmed a fair bit off of those now. All I want to do is just bring them down a little bit. I don't think it needs much more than that. Just wanted to lower them just a little bit. Will just help get a little bit of separation between all these areas, and I sort of want this to fill in this little bit here. So there's a nice, still a little bit of space there. The top of the tree, yeah, I don't know. Sort of very weighty towards the back. I think all of this is probably too thick to be trying to do too much with, but some of these upper branches we could still bring them around a little bit. I mean, it'd probably be pretty easy to stand that tree up just a touch on the next repot. Might even just back these tie-in wires off a bit too, because it should be getting some decent roots growing now. So it should be fairly well rooted in the pot, I reckon. Yeah, feels all right, but I'll leave plenty of room for it. And even if we do stand it up, I still think it's very weighty at the back. Even if we stand it up, the weight still seems to be on the back of the tree to me. So I reckon this branch here, we'll start bringing it around. I'll throw some wire on that and bring it around a reasonable amount. Probably need this one around even more to come sort of back. If you look at a side profile, you don't want them all stacked on top of each other, all the pads, so you probably want that one sort of in front of maybe the bottom one even. But I'll give it all a bit of a trim up again, so we'll go back and listen to some tunes for a bit. I'll give it a bit of a trim up, and yeah, then we'll work out what we're doing with the wire. Come on, stay with me. Stay with me. Come on, stay with me. Oh, baby, stay with me. As she stands in the moonlight, she's sending me a smile. My knees are shaking. She says to stay for a while. She takes a hold of my hand now and pulls me in real closely. Do you think that you love me? Ooh, wait and see. Come on and stay with me. Stay with me. Come on and stay with me. Oh, baby, stay with me. When it's time to go, I just don't know what to do. All I know is that I wanna be with you. Just wanna be with you. Wow. Don't know about this one. Oh, you're not staying then, are you? When you stop up and the styling decisions are made for you. I'll snap that branch off. Trying to bend it where it didn't want to go. That's all right. We can continue to build. So the main thing I'm trying to do here is just bring some of these little branches down a little bit. Down and forward, and then we can start building that foliage pad from there. It'll go above those branches. They don't need a real lot of wiring. And this wire won't stay on here very long at all. The last lot that I put on these tea trees stayed on for about 3 weeks, I think, and it was cutting into the branches, so it had to be taken off. Which just sort of shows how how vigorous these things are growing at the moment. Really got to be on the ball and get the wire off them fairly quick, otherwise we'll get some pretty bad wire scars. That's probably not too bad. I reckon we can work with that. Just trim that one right back. I'm not particularly worried about that one. That one's probably all right. That one bending back like that's probably no good. Just bring that one down. And that'll be the basis for that foliage pad there. This one here I've brought forward a little bit. I'm not going to do too much more because I'm happy to build that upwards from where it is, and we may even thin some of these lower ones out to get a little bit more separation between that pad and that pad. This will ultimately be the apex of the tree. This one here I feel still needs to come forward. I really don't want to push this branch too far and risk snapping it, but if it happens, it happens. There we go, crack. I think that one might be all right. Often I've been able to crack them, and if you don't push them any further, the bark still, on these thicker ones anyway, and the bark still maintains contact all the way through there, they will be okay. But you know what, if not, it's cracked about there, it'll shoot out of here. If that dies, it'll shoot out of here, and I can direct it forward a bit more when the branches are small. So at the end of the day, it's no big loss. It might set you back a little bit. Like obviously that branch has been growing for quite a while now. It's taken a while to get it where it is, but at the end of the day, you just regrow them, especially on a species like this that'll just shoot everywhere. That might nearly do that, I reckon. Going side on, we've got this pad here. This one's sort of to the back a little bit. Still forward of where it was. This one's a bit further forward again, which looks a little bit better than what it did before. And maybe when we straighten the tree up a touch, that might not look too bad. Yeah, this side over here, you've obviously got the foliage pad here, and then this one's back here. Just, all those different lengths just add a little bit of a 3D effect to it. So yeah, it's coming along. Hopefully that branch survives, but we'll see on the next video. Yeah, like I said, I'm really starting to become happy with these tea trees. They seem to be very easy to work with, and I'm starting to get the shape of how I envisage the tree. It's starting to materialize in front of me, which is pretty cool. One thing I should clarify, I did say earlier that I don't really give a shit about the Australian aesthetic of trees, and I just design my trees how I like them. And that's true, but I'm not against the Australian aesthetic. Like, you can make some pretty cool trees, and I have got a Melaleuca that will be coming up in the next few days on a video that is sort of more in that Australian style. So it's not that I'm against that style. Like, style your trees how you want them, I believe. I just do think that neat manicured look of some of the Japanese trees is just pretty cool. And if you can emulate that with an Aussie tree, well, you know, I think I don't know. That's what I enjoy, so that's what I do pretty much. So anyway, just sort of clarify that. So that's about it for this one. Like I said, if you're interested in watching me do a repot on a live stream, just let me know in the comments and a suitable time, and I'll see what I can do. No guarantees because I've never done a live stream before, so there's going to be a bit of trial and error trying to nut that one out and work out how it all works. And yeah, but I will give it a go. I'll give it a go. Righto. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.